All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tanner,
And I'm Kerry.
and we're going to be covering Remy and Ramona from the All Jazz Weekend in Seoul, Korea. And this is a good one. If you haven't seen it, please watch it before we talk through it because you want to have it all in your mind.
Because there'll be spoilers.
Lots of spoilers. So this is going to be mostly us exploding in joyous spontaneity because it's so amazing. So,
Ugh.
uh, you ready?
Let us jump in.
Let us let us begin. All right. And a three, a two, a one. Uh, so lanky. All right. So we're gonna pause intermittently throughout the video to talk about different segments, and this is the first of the segments because I felt this was particularly special to me because I just love how like the tone that it sets, and it isn't like that awkward moment where they're just like standing there looking at the crowd. There's like a lot of dynamics to the fact, and the tone like you can tell this is going to be like this is going to be fun, and because
Yeah.
most of it, like they try to be like technically precise and things, which this is very, very, very much so. But like the tone that they set, I think, is like very appropriate for like what's to come.
They make it seem like they walk sort of seamlessly out of their normal life and like into the performance
Yeah,
instead of like standing there and waiting and being like, oh, and now we perform.
they like stumble
Also,
into a club and they're like, oh my God, there's people here. Let's dance.
also, there's a dog howling in the background here. If you hear that, welcome to New Orleans.
Welcome to New Orleans.
Um,
There'll probably be a police siren in the near future.
nice. Yeah,
Please get ready.
it's fine.
Or spontaneous
Yeah,
jazz
I
music.
agree with you. This, like, though just them walking onto the stage tells me that this is, first of all, the kind of video I want to watch, and secondly, is like a slap in the face reminder of why it is I do this dance to begin with.
That's right.
And like in those like few bars, and they're not even really dancing yet, I'm just like, yeah, I love the Mindy Hut. It's just so much fun.
And you can see the immediate effect that it has on the audience, and they're like, "I'm sold, I'm
Yeah,
sold." They're just totally bought into it, and just like the
there
amount of
are.
swagger that Remy has like into it, it's just too much. So great.
If Lindy Hoppers were the type to throw panties, there would be bras and panties all over the stage already.
Everywhere, there'd be
Everywhere.
suitcases of them,
Cases.
cases and cases. And
Okay.
something that we had noted is that they like the chemistry between the two is so well suited,
Yeah.
and we'll see like, and you made a good point earlier, like in the pre-show talk, so to speak, that like coming up to like Ramona's level of like showbiz. I don't know if that's like the right word, but like Ramona's like a performer. Like
Yeah.
the audience is like she brings people into like she brings the audience into her experience, and for had to have someone to kind of come alongside of her is like kind of a rare thing, and they just have such beautiful chemistry.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
it's really good. You can continue on.
yeah, let's keep going.
All right.
Oh, wait, this is Naomi Young's band playing.
Yes. Shout outs to Naomi. Buy her album.
Buy her album, people.
It's all over this weekend. They use this thing.
Oh, okay. So I want to stop it here because I think that is an incredible way to start dancing together. They have spent 45 seconds ish
Mhm.
dancing alone, and now they're finally coming together, and they still milk it for like several more counts before they go anywhere. And it's just, we call it the tease,
The tease. That's right.
and it's just, I think it builds suspense like a, can I curse on this?
Yes. Yeah, oh yeah.
It builds suspense like a motherfucker.
So-
It feels good.
Yeah, but because like the music, like you could feel it kind of building, you know, and it's almost as if like this moment demands a swing out,
Yeah.
but they kind of they withhold it from you like in that moment, and they give you like this wonderful. It's just like it's just very unexpected at that time because like the way like they're using the floor and they're moving, you expect them to immediately like resolve all of that momentum
Yeah.
into this glorious swing out at the very beginning, but they don't, and it's very surprising and it's very satisfying at the same time.
They're saying work for it.
Yeah, that's right. They're not giving it easy. The team.
Can we watch it again?
Yes.
We're gonna watch it again.
So many times. And then we're off.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man, I just raised the roof on the internet.
And I had to pause and just say like that has because it just has so much power into that movement
Mm.
that propels them through like the rest of the dance, you know? Because like you expected that kind of power and momentum to like break into the rest of it,
Mhm.
but it kind of gives that to you, but in a new and different way
Yeah.
that I think is like really really creative and like really interesting.
I just already also I've already seen I like feel like I'm watching two people that are so beyond worrying about their technique. And
Hmm.
maybe they're not like this is a performance. I'm sure they work really hard on their
Yeah,
dancing all the time, but maybe. I don't know. But they just look like they couldn't care less about it. And I mean that in the best possible way. They're
yeah,
like paying attention to everything else. They're paying attention to like the music and their partner and what's happening and being exciting and they're not paying attention to their um like making sure that their swivels look perfect or whatever. Like who cares?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could tell like they've reached a transcendent point where they trust their bodies well enough to carry like to follow through with the movements,
Yeah.
and that they can dedicate their like full attention on like the connection and on the music and making sure that because I think the most attractive thing about this is just the sense of joy. Like you expect like rainbows and sparkles and like imaginary beings to come into existence, you know? Like by their mere steps, like grass will grow from the ground. It's just you can tell you
Yeah,
just see it.
so.
It's so awesome, you know?
I think so. I would like to point out that we're halfway through the very first video, and you've already said the word transcendent, and I think that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Hashtag transcendent.
And I had to withhold that word for the first portion of that video too. So that's
You
me
didn't
being restrained and being generous. Ah,
You want to keep going?
away we go.
I think my favorite part's coming up soon.
Yes.
What is it?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I lost it.
Okay, let's do it again
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah.
pause right after it.
Wait, do you want me to pause again?
I want you to pause right after the rainbow surprise.
Okay, yeah. We give names to everything, by the way.
Okay, here it comes. No. Yes. No. Yes. 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 Okay. First of all, that move is unofficially called the rainbow surprise. Maybe the most satisfying thing I've seen in a long time. And Tanner has a heart attack on camera. I'm not sure I have the correct words to talk about why it is so awesome.
Yep. And I think because we were talking about this, and the entire theme is of this performance is it defies your expectations
Yeah.
of what's happening because the way like that they're oriented and like the kind of like the vector like the direction in which they were going, like the magnitude in which they're going with, hints that they're going to go to the right.
Yeah.
And then they just don't. They just don't. They're like, fuck that, in the back with style.
Don't.
They pull out the bins and they just roll the other way. It's
so good. It's so satisfying.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like also they do this a bunch of times in this performance, which is one of the reasons why I like it so much, but they give you exactly what you want. Like the music is coming and coming and they're like, you know what, I hear that too. Bam, and they just do it.
So, and I want to zoom in on Remy's face while he's doing it. He just gives that look of like he just like the "you're welcome" kind of little.
Yeah, he actually looks like down at his own arm and then back at the audience, like, yeah, I know.
The amount of swag that he goes into this routine is like spectacular. He just has such personality, and they both do. It's just.
Also, can we talk about how big the movements were right before this? They're really big. They're apart from each other. They're switching places a lot. And then they come together and both face the same direction and do the smallest set of movements.
Yeah.
And it just slays. It just slays. They set it up perfectly.
Yeah, I want to rewind so that we can have back from the tease, so we can see it all. Okay. We can see it all play out. Yeah, so they're coming in like wonderful musicality, awesome energy.
Huge figures,
yeah,
and then they come.
That's right, huge figures, and then it just, yeah. And you can see like what we were talking about earlier, like the lines of their movement. So if we go back to like here, you can see how all the lines are just like across the floor there.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're just expecting it to go forward, right? Bam. And they even go for like a step or two. And then they just that's just choreographic genius.
It really is. I kind of want to do it one more time. Is that crazy?
No. There is no time that this can be watched that's too much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. So that's a really good point. They're staying on one line, really.
And they even take away, like there you see that it's like a triple. They do a triple right there.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. So this is so hard for us right now because there's just such a temptation to just observe, and it just sucks the very words out of your mind.
It really does.
It's great.
Okay.
Consult. So we had that's the end of the rainbow surprise. It's literally called that in our notes.
I think we should watch more. I think we should keep going.
Let's do it. All right, I want to go to the end of the rainbow surprise so we don't miss. And I just love his face. Look at her.
That's so good.
Yeah, and you can just see like the precision that they go in with each of these moments.
Jesus, guys. Oh, okay. Okay, so I think, I don't even know. This is so good. That part that just happened, where they're coming downstage, that's downstage, right, towards us?
Yeah, sure. We're just call it downstage.
They're coming towards us, the audience, on a diagonal, and they hit this like straight rhythm for a couple beats, and it kills me. It kills me.
Yeah.
Can we do it again?
Oh yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're orienting themselves nice. Ramona.
It just so perfectly matched the music and not overdone. They just do it. They're like, this is what's happening. I'm gonna show you. But they're not being fancy about it. She just is running down the stage. That's it.
Yep.
But it's perfect.
Yeah. I think just like I think you hit it right there, just saying how simple but effective those movements are. Like, and I think that's a good choreographic point to be like, if you just hit the music at the perfect point,
Yeah.
and in a simple way, like the focus on that was hitting the point in the music, and it wasn't
Yeah.
about like some big moment, and it was just you see how just it's so effective because the music it just has that awesome resolution.
It does seem like, I don't know. It seems to me like when I watch this, especially like this kind of part, I'm like, oh, they are showing me how much they like this song and doing this dance.
Hmm.
And maybe that sounds really simple, but I feel like a lot of times I watch choreography and I'm like, oh, they're showing me how good they are at dancing. Like
Yeah.
that's the point from their perspective. And I just feel like this comes through as so, I don't know. It's just, it's without ego, maybe.
Right.
Is what I think. They're like, this is so cool, guys. Do you hear what's going on? How cool is this dance? And we're all just like, yes.
Yeah.
It's not about worshiping them,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
And I mean, and in doing so, they perfectly displayed their skill.
Right.
So it's not in like even a neglected aspect of it. It does have like that, kindergarten like show and tell esque kind of feel to it, where you're just like, I love this, and I love my bear. He's Boo Boo, and it's so great. You all love Boo Boo too. Uh, not to be a caricature of what, but I mean, it's just kind of this simple, just like it's just like kind of like a pure moment,
Hmm.
because like you're saying, it reminds you about why you love this dance and everything that is good about it
Yeah.
is showcased like however perfect I think quite well and kind of in these moments. uh, and they're taking you along for a wonderful ride. It's really
They're so good.
so awesome. Yeah. And I just love like the sense of just it's just like lighthearted. I feel like they could just mess up like in any way, and it
Hmm.
wouldn't disrupt the flow or like the mood of the dance at all.
Yeah. I do think that this choreography has an air of like, it's kind of like a dream state social dance. Like it looks like just the most perfect social dance ever. Like, so if they messed up, like whatever, it almost has this feeling like it's not over choreographed, even though I think it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
It just still is like them dancing.
Hmm.
I appreciate.
Yeah. Mm. Hype. Hype it up.
Uh, you want to keep going?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we there already?
Yeah. It's just simple but profound, like those movements.
Right? Talk about simple.
Yeah. Making the chase cool again.
And
Bringing it
then
back
they
to 3 years
also
ago.
talk about simple, just that part right before they break apart, when
Mhm.
they jump away from each other and back towards each other.
Yeah.
This whole thing, this whole last part that we watched, they're doing swing outs and they stop when the music stops,
Mm.
and they like do a jump and they do the chase with one thing changed. And like that's what they do. It's not that intense. Like
Right.
they could teach that sequence in a class in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. They could. I mean, yeah.
Yes, they could.
Yeah. And I would be in that class. Find a way.
I would love to watch that sequence again.
Yeah. How far back?
I'm carrying a noisemaker from Mardi Gras, by the way, and it's like my security blanket right now. I don't know why. It's an alligator.
When things just go awry, just click.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's when I can't take watching them dance anymore. I just-
Okay, so further back. I feel like
no,
further
I think
back.
that's good.
We say this is good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Here comes the chase. Feet back. Yeah. Because you can tell this isn't a chase for the sake of the chase.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, just like we'll just put a freaking chase in it because we need 4/8 or something.
Yeah.
And this is where everyone loses their shit.
Yeah. Well, rightly so, because when is the last time two people filled up space like that?
Yeah.
Never. The last time was, you know what the last time was that I can think of? And I'm gonna have to find this video and make sure that it's right, and then maybe put the link in the description. But there was like an invitational Jack and Jill at like an ILHC or something where Todd Iannacone and Annie Trudeau were paired together, and they like ran around the sort of the line of the spectators doing something, kicking or something, and it just slayed. They took over the entire sort of stage area and everybody lost it. And that's the last time that I remember something like this happened, where they part and both of them are so magnetic and are just like in it so much that they fill the entire space. Yeah. Most of the time I watch these videos and I'm like, oh gosh, it's so sad those two tiny little people are in this huge open expanse of space. And just like, oh no, look at them.
And it's so right, and rightfully so, because that moment is so explosive.
Yeah.
Where that like, and I think they do it in a way that people wouldn't normally think to do it.
Breaking apart from your partner?
Breaking apart, that part. Because usually that's like a moment where they're just like, more swing outs. More swing outs. And swing outs are like the best thing ever. But they do it, and like the shapes, like they do it, and like the shapes they create are really dynamic. And to me, when I saw that, I was like, oh man, where it's like I'm trying to think of some analogy that isn't like kind of inherently offensive to them. But just like, when you just like something bursts out, it's like a swarm of bees, it just comes out of the hive, But that's just kind of inherently offensive. But
yeah, no, that was a good one. I liked that one.
I think
it's this thing that I don't know. I think you hit sort of the nail on the head. That's the expression. Talking about when they did the chase, how it seems to be for a reason, not just because like, oh yeah, we got to fill these 8s before the beginning of the next section or something. So let's put the chase in. I feel that way throughout this entire performance, and I feel that way about even this last part, the big crescendo where they split apart, is that it seems to me like they are choosing things for a reason, not just like going through their Rolodex of jazz moves and Lindy Hop moves and being like, well, we haven't used this one in a while, let's put it in.
Yeah, that's right. Everything's very purposeful.
Yeah.
And I would like an insight into like the choreographic process. If they're like, Naomi's killing it with these songs, we should choreograph a dance to it, or they just had, I don't know, like what the process was. But
this is a ridiculous thing that I'm about to say, and I'm gonna own up to it, and I'm still gonna say it also. That in my mind, they show up in Korea and they're like, oh hey, they want us to do a performance, is that cool with you? Yeah, totally. Like, what do you want to do? Like maybe one of Naomi's songs? Yeah, great, okay, let's dance to it. And they dance twice to it, and then they're like, got it, okay, cool.
Moving on. Sorry.
Bow at the end, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because I mean, the amount of time that is given to instructors of that caliber from different parts of the world is like negligible.
Yeah, when are they gonna meet? Doesn't he live in London and she lives in somewhere in Australia?
She lives in Australia, and that's nowhere near each other.
No, I've seen a map.
For you. And they come, and I mean, they probably like connected. I mean, if it's anything like the performances that I've done, you know, or the collaboration that I've taken part of. Like you contact each other with email, you talk a little bit, you know. Maybe you
Yeah.
videotape yourself with a couple of your friends. Like here's some phrases to do once you decided on like the music or whatever. But most of it, like 90% of it, is done in house.
Yeah.
They're at the event because they in between the classes that they have to plan, which if you see the recap lists is extensive.
Yeah.
It's
There were a lot of
extensive.
videos out of this event.
Yeah. Props to you, good citizen, who's giving us such wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and props to Kerry, man. He totally nailed that moment, that zoom out.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, kind of when you think about it in perspective, the amount of time that they had, and I would not be surprised if it went down. If Remy or Ramona, if you by chance run into this video somehow, uh, let us know. 'Cause
Yeah, you're welcome to comment
very
on a
curious.
little bit of the choreographic process. Also, you're welcome to comment on whether or not you like our name for that one move better than yours.
The rainbow surprise.
And hint, the answer is yes. Rainbow surprise.
The rainbow surprise, because I couldn't think of anything more fitting than because it's just a magical moment. It's so good.
I think I'm so glad that these two, I don't know, I mean, I don't know them. I don't know if they teach together often or are going to teach together often or something, but I am so happy to see two people who are so effervescent dancing together.
Yeah.
There are two people where if you were like, Kerry, name some like spirit of Lindy Hop peeps, these two would be in the first two of the first names I come up with, like no doubt.
Mm-hmm. This is.
I would be like, you know, Josh McClain, Ramona Stadfeld. Like it would be like, you know, within the first couple that I come up with, and so it's nice to see them dancing together.
Yeah, and if like the coming generation or either like their peers see this as a model, and not in a way that like detracts or like loses its like like its essence, you know, as a way of doing Lindy Hop, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Because you see like the simplisticness, but it has like it's just very nuanced as well with the music and the way in which they just kind of enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And it feels very much like a celebration of Lindy Hop.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
You gotta like, use the form for a purpose, not just like relish in the form. Like who cares? That's not the point.
That's right. So good.
So good.
Can we watch the Rainbow Surprise one more time?
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion.
Because we have that moment mapped out. Love it. The tease into the Rainbow Surprise.
The Rainbow Surprise.
And look, you see like the way that Remy kind of like travels, like his look travels up the line of his arm, you know?
That dude is good at his job.
He is.
What a professional.
I don't know, like for me, cause I guess I'm newer than most people are to like the national scene in a lot of ways. But he kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
Like I knew about Peter, knew about Sky, knew about Andy, and all these like really awesome dances that I like very much. And then I just watched like ILHC last year in August, and I'm just like, this dude is carrying it up.
Yeah.
And his performances at ILHC are also shout out worthy, especially with his sister, who killed it.
Yeah, I liked that.
It was so good.
I think I first saw him in the Two Cousins video. Did you see that? The slow something. Oh, I'll put the link in.
Yeah.
Definitely watch that. It's like an actual music video, and he just slays. He kills it.
Yeah.
Like in every video I've seen of him.
Yeah. Yeah, this moment. Yes. And look at these shapes.
I just love how the crowd also cannot handle themselves.
Yeah. We can't right now. And just listen to them.
Also, can we talk about, is this a thing? Tell me if you've noticed this, that I feel like the people who made up the Silver Shadows always end their choreographies with the bow incorporated into the dance.
I don't know.
I feel like I see that and I associate it with them, and I think it's so classy. Like, I think it's just real classy. Like,
That's right.
it's always like turny, 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 boo, and bow all together, right to the music.
That's right. Because once again, it makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense.
It's just not there for the sake of the moment,
Right.
Really good.
Oh, so good. If there is anyone watching this who is not Tanner or myself, feel free to comment in words, or I don't know if you can still do video responses, but do your worst
That would
for
be
best.
awesome.
That would be great.
Because we're just two persons with two persons worth of opinions, and so the more the merrier.
Yeah. Cool.
And we'll probably have an email address down in the description too. If you have anything that you want to say, positive or negative, or anything you'd like to add, shoot us an email. Kerry's mom, and
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. Kerry's mom is the only one watching.
Yeah. So thank you for your time, and I'm Tanner.
And I'm Kerry.
Yeah, signing out.